Hello collectors, and welcome to my review of the Robot Spirit God Gundam, marketed in North America and in the dub as Burning Gundam. This figure was highly requested by many people alongside Master Asia, and it has finally been released. Let's take a look and see whether or not it's worth adding into your collection. When it comes to looks, this is pretty much the God Gundam action figure you've been waiting for. All of the details are present, captured in hard plastic. All of the lines and grooves are present too, so those who want to panel line this will be more than happy to do so. However, the paint job is pretty solid, so those looking to make modifications may not necessarily need to. A look at the head here, and you can see they captured the details very well, so much so that when you spin it around, you can even see that there's paint on the back of the head. Here's a look at the torso, including the shoulder pads. You can just feel the quality of this release. Moving down to the waist, you can see the intricate paint job tucked away into some parts, like right here on these blue flaps. On the knees, you can see that these yellow triangles are indeed present, and while this one looks relatively clean, this one is very sloppy. I guess there's just something about the September 2014 releases from Bandai. And moving behind the legs to the calf area, you can see the yellow paint outlining these parts right here. All in all, this thing looks amazing. I personally could not be that much more impressed by the transition from the prototype to the final product. When it comes to articulation, this thing has way more points of it than you would ever probably need. But that is not a bad thing. So to begin with the articulation, the head is attached to the neck on a ball joint, and the neck is attached into the body on a ball joint too. So pretty much you're going to be able to get all of the range of articulation you would need out of the head area. Moving down to the shoulders, the actual shoulder pads are attached on a hinge, so you can move them up and down like so, which is pretty neat. And the shoulders are in the body, attached on a hinge. You can see the shoulders moving there, which is pretty nice, so you can move them out forward. And then the shoulders are actually attached into the body on a ball joint, so you're going to be able to get them to move in pretty much whatever way you would like. And what's also cool about that is that the shoulder attachment is also attached on a hinge. So if you need the shoulders to move in a specific direction, there's basically nothing blocking the articulation except for this part here. Now the arms attach onto the shoulders on a bicep swivel, as you can see here, which is pretty sweet, pretty much the standard. And the elbows are on a double hinge, so you're going to be able to get a ton of movement out of there. Now, moving down to the forearm, there is a swivel there, as you can see, but you're really only going to be able to get it to work once you take the slasher off. And as you can see, it's a full swivel, moves around entirely. And then the wrists are ball joints, so you're going to be able to get the hands to move in pretty much whatever direction you want. Now, some of the hands have a little cut in them, and the hands which have this, which I'll show later, are all of the non-fists. And with this little cut in them, you can greatly extend the range of articulation there, as you can see, which is an amazing touch for this release. Moving to the main body of the God Gundam, you can see that there's a little cut in here, which enables it to sort of rock in and out. You're not really going to get much of a swivel or a turn out of it, so it's basically a hinge. But at the waist here, you can see that it's a ball joint, so you're going to be able to get all of the movement you would pretty much need out of there. Now, going down to the waist, these front flaps here, ball joints, the usual for robot spirits. You have these side parts here, where the beam sabers are stored, which are on ball joints. And here's the cool part. You see this little circle here, where the beam sabers are stored? Watch this. They spin. They're on swivels, which is awesome. And then moving to the back, these flaps here, once again, ball joint. So really, when it comes to articulation, there's pretty much nothing restricting this thing. Moving up to the backpack unit here, as I'll call it, you can see these little wings here. They open up. They are on swivels, as you can see. So you pretty much can only move them in one direction. However, where they're attached, there are hinges. So you can move them forward and back, and then the thrusters here are on ball joints, but really it's kinda pointless. You don't really need to move them around too much. Also with the backpack unit, this part here where the hinges are attached to, it also has a swivel. So you can move it forward and back just like this. Moving down on the God Gundam, we have the hips. Standard ball joint, not really restricted. I mean, look at the range there. That's awesome. I love it. And then there is a thigh swivel hidden there right at the attachment at the hips. Now, here's where the insane stuff happens. The knees on a double hinge. So as you can see, there's a hinge up there by the thigh and here down closer to where the calf shin area is. So you got a nice movement there. But here's the game changer. There's a knee swivel. So basically, if you can think of a pose you want to get the God Gundam's legs in, you're going to be able to do it. It's insane. Now you have these foot covers here, which are attached on a ball joint, so you can get some articulation out of them. And then you have the foot, which is attached on a ball joint. So you can get some pretty decent movement out of there. But here's another game changer, the toe. This is basically a multi-hinge ball joint swivel. I don't even know what the hell kind of joint is in here. It's just awesome. You can spin it around, you can bend it forward and back. It's awesome. So any foot articulation you would need, it's all right here. And surprisingly, this much space can support and balance this entire Gundam, which is awesome. And last up for the leg articulation is that the calves themselves also feature ball joints. And you can actually pop them out just like that. That's really nifty. This thing has so much articulation to it, it's just amazing. It's mind-blowing. You can put it in whatever pose you want. Now, because there are so many working joints to it, I may have even missed a point or two of articulation, but the overall point of this segment is the only way you would think that the articulation on this thing is bad is if you're not creative, because this thing is probably the most expressive action figure I have. Moving on to the accessories, the God Gundam comes with, well, pretty much everything you would need. First up, the backpack unit here, which has the wings on it, is separate in the package. So all you have to do is you see those little tabs there? Put them in the hole on the God Gundam's back, like so, and it'll attach super easy. Next up, the God Gundam comes with this optional chest part here, which shows the internal power regulator. And all you pretty much have to do for the chest is just grip it here, the yellow part, pull it off, and you'll see there's a little T there, which is also on the back of the option part, and you just line it up and put it on. Next up for the beam sabers, you get 2 of them, and they both slide into the holsters here. You can see there's a little divot in there, and there's a little peg in there, so all you have to do is just slide it in like so. And it attaches really easy. But of course, if you have the handle for the beam saber, you need the actual beam to go with it. And it's nice and curved, like so. And there's a little tab here at the end, which just plugs into the handle like so. And of course, if you're going to get the beam saber, he needs a hand to hold it with, and you get plenty of those. And when looking at all of the hands, you get slightly open fists for the beam sabers, you get karate chopping hands, you get slightly splayed hands, and then you get hands for the erupting burning finger, or the erupting god finger, whichever one you technically want to go with. And swapping out hands is super easy to do, but you just have to be careful because the wrist connection for the God Gundam, it's a little bit on the small side. So for safety reasons, I like to take the slasher off first. Then all you have to do is just grab the attached hand, slowly work it off, like so. See the very small ball joint there? And then go ahead and attach the new hand to the wrist. Just have to work it on. Be careful not to snap anything. And there you go. And to attach the beam saber, well, to get him to hold the beam saber, all you have to do is just slide it in. Like that. Now, as you probably noticed, this slasher part here, it's not too expressive. There's nothing to him. So, to go along with that, because they can come off, you get this more extended God Slasher part. And these two talons here are on ball joints. And you get two of them. You get one for the left wrist and one for the right. As you can see here, you can get him to move, so this way he can impale Nero's Gundam's head. And attaching them is super simple and easy. You just got to find the hole in the forearm and attach it, like so. And there you go. Now you're almost ready for the erupting burning finger. Last up, you get the PET, Ring of Light, Ring of Fire, whatever you would prefer to call it, which is a very flimsy plastic, which is not a bad thing, because if it was very hard, you'd get it to crack. And there's a very interesting way they have designed to get this attached to the God Gundam. So looking at the God Gundam's backpack, you can see that there are two small holes at the bottom here, and you get this option part here. And this plugs into the bottom of the God Gundam's backpack. It doesn't plug into his crotch or anything as a support stand. It's specifically for the Ring of Light part. And then you get this clear plastic part here, which attaches to this gray part, like so. Just plug it in. And then you'll see that there's a little clip there. The Ring of Light just slides into that clip, like so. Super easy to do. I prefer to do this with the backpack detached, so this way there's no possible way you could damage anything. And then all you do is you reattach the backpack, and there you go. It's everything that comes with the God Gundam. Now, as a note, there is an effect set coming out in March of 2015, I believe. It is a web-exclusive set, so if you get it, good for you. And it comes with a whole bunch of different option parts. So, one of those parts would be shoulder cannons. So this white part here can come off of the God Gundam, and that's for miniguns which come with the accessory set. And the accessory set comes with a folded arm part, it comes with a ring post, so this way the God Gundam can stand on it, folded arm parts. I think it might come with an extra set of hands, and it comes with effect parts for the God Gundam too. Wish it would have come with this set, but such is life. So when it comes to accessories, at the bare minimum, the God Gundam comes with all of the essentials. There are extra effect parts coming down the line, but still, this is a nice, nifty package. When it comes to sizing, those who are used to the Robot Spirits line will be more than able to anticipate how big the God Gundam is. However, those looking to dip their toe into the water for the first time with this release, well, you might be surprised at just how small this guy actually is. To begin the size comparison, here is the God Gundam alongside some Ultra Acts. Here it is alongside some SH Monster Arts. And here alongside some famous Super Robots from the Super Robot Chogokin line. And finally alongside some other Gundam Robot Spirits. So as you can see, 6 inches? Not exactly, a little bit smaller than. But still, for the small size, you do get a lot of features with the God Gundam. So, buy it now, skip it, or wait for a deal. Overall, it looks great. There are no serious issues with this mobile suit. Articulation, godly. That's all that needs to be said. Accessories are good, but more would be appreciated. But I guess that's what the option set is for. Overall, a solid release, and I'm happy to have this figure in my collection. It is a shining example of how a robot figure should be made.